Okay, we are going to be starting on page 215, step 7 of case 1 of tutorial 3. If you were previously following along, again, that's page 215, step 7. You need to make sure you're on the cstyles.css style sheet, and we have Text Wrangler open. And the first thing we're going to do is set the color of the page body background and text to black and white, and then we're going to set the default font to list consisting of Century Gothic followed by the generic sans serif font. So the first thing we need to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click in my text editor, and we need to tell what it is that we're going to do. So go ahead and key the following. I'm going to press enter, and then this is where we are going to start with what the body is. So you need to put background dash color, because if you just put color, that would be telling that you want to change the text. But to signify that we want to change the background, that's when you have to key background dash color. And recall, after you type the color in, you always need to have a semicolon and press enter, and the actual text should be black, but then background color should be a light blue. Then we're going to key the word color, and again recall the directions said for that to be white. And then the font family that we are going to be using is, you're going to do not a quotation mark, but like an apostrophe, Century Gothic. And you're going to notice that that should turn pink, and then you're going to do a comma, sans serif, because we want it to be Century Gothic, but if that font is not loaded on a computer, you'd want it to then be Century or sans serif. Then we're going to have our closing bracket, and now we're going to move on to step 8, and it says add a style rule for heading 1 headings nested within a header element to do. Display the text in yellow. Use Courier New or Courier or another monospace font, and then set the font size to 28 pixels with kerning of 20 pixels. Now remember that kerning is the letter spacing, so spaces between letters, and we also want to center align the text. Now remember, this is dealing with headings, so we need to tell the computer that, and I'm going to go ahead and key in heading styles, and then underneath that in the header, and then H1 and our opening bracket. And we want color, and remember when you just key the word color, that is referring to the text color. Then we're going to have the font family, and recall that it said to use Courier New, and Courier New should have apostrophes around it and be pink. And after you key monospace, make sure that you have a semicolon. And then for the font size, recall the directions said 28, and it's in pixels, so you're going to put a PX there right after 28 with no space. And then kerning, that refers to your letter spacing. And then for the text alignment, we want center. Then I'm going to put my closing bracket, and that's what we're going to do for our heading 1. Now we are on step 9, and it says add a style rule for H2 headings nested within an article element to set the font to size 24 pixels, display the text without boldface, and set the kerning to 5 pixels. So first thing you need to do is specify that this is within the article, so we're going to key article, and then it's a level 2 heading, so H2. We have our bracket, and again we're going to start with the font size, and we have 24 pixels. Then we have our font weight, which refers to if it's bold or normal is what we're going to key, meaning it's a non-bold font. And then we have letter spacing, and that is to be at 5 pixels. Then I'm going to press enter, put in my closing bracket. Okay, now we are on step 10, and it wants us to align paragraph text within the article element using full justification. So now what we need to do back in our Text Wrangler is we need to go ahead and tell Text Wrangler what it is we're doing. So please key the following where it says style rule for the article paragraph. And press enter. And then I'm going to key article space P space bracket. And if you recall, it said we wanted to have the text alignment sent at justify. So text align colon justify. And then our closing bracket. And that takes us to step 11. For the strong elements belonging to the keyword class, create a style rule that displays the text in a yellow, non-bold font. Okay, so we are going to be making a new rule here, so we're going to go ahead and please key the following. Style rule for strong elements. Press enter, and then key strong period keyword. So there should not be a space there. And then put in your bracket. And we want to go ahead and key color, because remember we want the text to be yellow. And then for the font weight, we want it to be normal. And press enter and then do a closing bracket. That takes us down to step 12. It says center the contents of the paragraphs, nested within the footer element. So we're going to go and create a new style rule. And go ahead and key the following. Style rule for the footer paragraph. And remember, at any time during this, please feel free to stop, pause. You can go back and have me re-say something, because remember, this is a YouTube video, so you're in control of the pace in which you are going. So after you key in style rule for the footer paragraph, press enter, and then you're going to key footer space P and then our opening bracket, and then underneath that, remember, we're going to key text align, and it wants it to be centered. And then our closing bracket. So we're on the home stretch here. Okay, you don't want image maps to appear with the colored border. This is step 13. To remove the border, create a style rule for an inline images that contain the use map attribute and set the border width to 0 pixels. Okay, so how are we going to do this? We're going to tell the computer again what we're doing, so please key the following. Style rule for inline images that act as image maps. I don't believe this went over in the tutorial, so that's okay if you didn't understand what that meant, but go ahead and key in now. So I'm going to key IMG, and you're going to put in a bracket, and we're going to key use map, and then another bracket, and then our bracket that we use when we're opening something. And then underneath that, we're going to put in border width. And it wants it set to 0 px, which is pixels. And then we're going to have our closing bracket. Now let's go ahead and save our style sheet. So I did a quick save. Now we need to go back to our crypt HTML and notice I think we might have forgotten to go ahead and put in our layout tab and link that. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, link our style sheet, and then go ahead and link our style sheet. So first thing first, I'm going to go in underneath script, and remember how to open that up. I'm going to go ahead and key link, and if you already have this done, just hang on and I'll get it typed in. So C_layout.ccs. Now remember, we'll have the same layout for our style sheet as well. And the only thing that'll be different, instead of saying C_layout, it'll say C_styles. So you can easily copy this right here and then paste it if you didn't want to have to go and retype. And then what you're going to change is you're going to make sure it says styles. So then I'm going to do a quick save, and I'm going to go and open up my Chrome, and I'm going to refresh. And we can see that it didn't work, so I'm going to go back into my text wrangler and see what I did wrong. So you can see what I did wrong. If you look in front of style sheet here and here, I'm forgetting a quotation mark. So I'm going to go in and put that in, and that should make all the difference when I save and go back into Chrome and refresh. Okay, there we go. Now you can see we have our title centered, we have all of our text centered. You can see which text was in our strong element that is now yellow. And our image map, when we move our mouse over it, your image map should work and you should be able to click and go on to another page. If you have issues, what I encourage you to do is go back and compare maybe your links here, or go back to the styles sheet and take a second, maybe pause this video and compare your style sheet to the style sheet in the video. If you have any questions, let me know. Or if yours looked like the example in the video, then you are all set.